Darktime set itself apart from other games that are also in this genre class?
Yes, another really good question, and something that I kind of hold myself to as a standard as a game director is trying to make sure that what we build isn't just something that we're just taking from other things. And one of the biggest things is that we are a game first studio. We are a traditional game studio that has moved into Web3, that is looking to make games from a game first perspective. We are just not into the whole, here is a bank and put in some money and then see what happens in the next few years or so, right? That's what every other Web3 company is doing. And so I think a lot of Web3 studios might not be utilizing Web3 in the way that really makes it different, right? So you own what you make in Web3, right? So this notion of like buying an item for a couple bucks, like a traditional in-app purchase, it's not something that we like to look at as a model. That might be there because it's, Web 2 game, it might need to have those things. But we are trying to really utilize Web 3 and allow these tournaments to be played and allow you to win money from these tournaments and spend that money on investing back in yourself as a competitor and as an athlete in the experience, and improving yourself in terms of your abilities, the weapons that you pick, your loadout, and how you approach the meta going into a tournament. How else could we analyze to get the correct features, right, for this thing? And so we looked at just this thing of when there was a point at which immature content became mature. We can point out a lot of examples, but I'm just going to single out Christopher Nolan's Batman for this one. But, Christopher Nolan's Batman was trying to take something at a fundamental level. We can call it a story, but I want to go more into style and stylistic things like medium, right? Yeah, the medium itself. Because now we're talking about an art form. And we're talking about an art form, when you think about something that is like a battle royale and you're looking at data, it's not giving you too much information. When we look at something like Batman, the new Batmans, we can see that it's gone for a more mature route than the original comic books, right? That were made for more kids. Even when we had the 1960s Batman on TV, that was still presented in a way that was easily consumable by children. Even the way that the characters were presented were more over the top, more stereotyped, right? Or more of a characterization. But if we think about drama as a medium, it's supposed to be over dramatized, right? That is what makes it that medium. When we look at theater or stage play, we want to see the actors acting in an over the top way. That's part of the style. When we read a comic book, we want it to be immature. It reminds us as adults what it was like being a kid. That's why we read comic books. There's no need for us to make Batman really mature, where now we kind of enjoy the stupid parts of it, right? We want it to just be fun, something you could jump in, play over and over, and it feels good to play. And we looked at things like Gang Beasts. We looked at a lot of these kind of fun pick up and play games that you can play constantly, and it needs to feel different when you play it. And one of the biggest games that really allows you to have complete agency is Breath of the Wild of recent memory, right? I regard that as one of the best technical games ever designed. I think the reason why is it models something that's very important in real life. It models physics and chemistry in the game, and it works with the character controller. Character controller is just the actions that are available to the player: run, jump, all of those things. That controller is supported by the physics and the chemistry, and if they can all link together, that's when you start to get some really different emergent things happening, that where no experience ever feels the same, right? In Breath of the Wild, you could take an arrow, character controller, fire it through fire chemistry, right? Have that hit an enemy that has ragdoll physics, hits him down a hill, and have him hit a bush that also catches on fire. We've now combined the chemistry, physics, and the controller in this very systemic way. This is a core fundamental pillar to the way that we have approached combat in Darktimes. We combine this abridged structure of the Battle Royale, but in 4 rounds of this engaging tournament. When you abridge it that way, it needs to have a lot of replayability. And then we looked at things like wrestling to try and get the replayability in the stipulations, the match types, and those types of things. That's what we're really looking at, is we have survival as the first kind of stipulation. 12 people, most kills moves on, right? Then we have team-based stipulation. The next round might be a team-based, right? And now it's 3v3. So we play around with the rule set to make it feel different each time. So I think for us, we're really excited about that. Creating a tournament that you can play and win real money through Web3 and have it be secure and have it be an actual investment, and then making sure that that structure is supported with a really solid combat system where we take inspiration from a lot of the big systemic experiences and a lot of the big abridged experiences that we might have played or consumed when we were younger.